So Footprints is a jazz song. It's called Lively Swing as a genre. Lively Swing just is a sub-genre of jazz. It's in 3/4, which means there are 3 crotchets or 3 quarter notes in a bar. You start, it's pretty much all right cymbals with your right hand, and sometimes a left foot hat. I'm pretty sure there's, in the whole song there's 75, 76, 70, there's 77 bars, but in truth, it's all according to this swung code. So 1, 2, let 3, 4, let 1, and that's what that code means. The quaver, or the 8th note, is pushed. So the second quaver or second 8th note is pushed further towards the next crotchet, and therefore this sounds like 1, 2, 3, 1, let 2, 3, 1, 2, da da, 1, let 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. It's a bit faster than this, being 130 beats per minute. And if you just follow the rule, which is every time you see this kind of thing, this is 2, let 3. And then this is kind of like a slow motion. It locks in with the sound of the horns. It goes da 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 da, 1, 2, da dee. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, da dee. You'll recognize it when you go through the playback with the click track and the drum track. So the full drum track with the click track. That'll keep it honest, and because it can feel like a ball of quicksand or a cloud of mist. It really is quite, if you're not tuned into listening to this sort of music, which, to be honest, I'm not a big jazz guy, even though I can play it. I'm not huge with playing in jazz bands or being a star jazz player, unfortunately. And then you've got all these kind of drag and flam rudiments here, drag rudiments there, and the ditty or the bit before the right, so that's left, left, right. So on the snare and then to the floor, one triplet with a left, left crash with a left, left, right bass, left, left. So 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 1 let 2, 3, 1 let 2, da da da, 1 let 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, da da, but so there's 1, let 2, let 3, 1, 2, but 2, 1, 2, da, 1. So that's a crotchet plus a half, which is represented by the dot, is 3 quavers. 3 quavers plus 3 quavers equals 3 quarter notes, or 3 crotchets in a bar. So that all accounts, and then that's a minim with a dot, so that's 3 crotchets. So that's what that is, if you want to tune into the music theory. And then you got 1, 2, 3, 4, ding, let, da, da. So 1, let 2, let 3, and then you got kind of like a fast swing feel here. 1 en, 2 en, 3 en. If you keep on with the molar technique here, it works quite nicely, and you just let the stick roll and bounce, and with a bit of good control, that'll be just absolutely perfect. 1 en, 2 en, 3 en, 1 en, 2 en, 3 en, with the hats doing quavers or 8th notes, and then 1 let 2, 3, bass snare, bass snare, bass snare. There's a bit of a solo here for half of the song almost. That hat to the left, floor hat, rest, to the floor, to the floor, to the floor, snare, snare, tom 1 or high tom, hat, and then on the floor, to the snare, to the 1, 1, 1 snare, bass snare with the right, and to the right, that, and you just got to follow that through nicely. And then you got to the left, da, follow the sticking, follow the position on the stave, means different drum. So this is to the left on the tom 1, and then tom 1 to the snare, tom, snare, floor. Hat, hat, snare, snare. I did 2 lefts there, I think, and then right, left, right, left, right. So floor, and then a tom 1, then a snare, and then a right snare, 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 left on the crash, snare, 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 right with the bass. And just, I think this is an inverted paradiddle. I always forget the names of these things, but yeah. 1, let 2, let bass with a snare and a tom 1, and then hat, hat, snare, tom 1, hat, hat, snare, floor, hat, snare, floor, bass, bass, floor, snare, bass, tom 1, and that's because of the horizontal rule. The next you don't do, so that means 1, let 2, let rested, or just let it ring on for another crotchet. So you don't do the second right snare here. Snare, 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 bass, rest, that, 1, let 2, let floor, bass, floor, snare, bass, floor, bass, snare. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a on the snare, 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 on the tom 1 or high tom, floor, snare, bass, floor, bass, tom 1 and snare, da, 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 bass, bass. That fits quite nice as a ending to the drum solo, which leads us into C bar 53 going onwards. And then this is kind of like the first time that this sort of stuff just reoccurs. This is the first time it sits in a kind of groove. 1, let 2 with the left foot hat, 3, let 1, 2, let 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, snare, bass, ba. That's your rough. Tom says snare, floor, left floor, snare, hat, diddling, diddling on the right, diddling, snare, ding, crash, right, crash, all crotchets, and then again, this, all the same. This line and this line and this line are all the same, and then you got to the floor, left, dot, dot, the left floor, snare, snare, then you got blah, blah, blah. I think I didn't do I did the floor and the flam on the floor as well, which is just a little bit of an error, but we can correct that, because in retrospect, so that you just leave your left on the snare and your right stays on the floor. Yeah, that kind of makes more sense. It's funny you discover these things when you've actually looked at the bloody thing. Anyway, 4 snare, floor, snare, bass, 1 snare, bass, floor, snare, bass, snare, snare with the flam, flam, rest. Same line as that is the same as that. And then you've got this nice little outro, right, crash, D, 1 triplet, 2 with a crash, right, 1 E and a 2 with a paradiddle, just a straight up paradiddle, right hand on the right, left hand on the crash, 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 1, let 2, 3, 1. And this, my friends, is how it sounds.